Dr. Anderson, how you feeling?
Awkward, grateful,
Yeah,
and very, very happy.
yeah,
There's a story behind every one of those faces,
yeah.
on that video, and people, and I'm just feeling very, very, Diane and I are feeling very, very good tonight. Thank you,
Good.
all of you.
Good. Well, the number one question that everybody always has for you that we really want to know, and at this moment, you can really tell us your secret. How do you keep your beard so perfectly trimmed?
I have I think it's a wall beard trimmer,
Okay. All right.
and every time Diane says you need to clean it up, I do.
Yeah, okay.
And it's really simple.
Wow. All right. Take us back down memory lane a little bit, back to 1995 when you first accepted the invitation to be president of North Central University. What was that time like? What was God saying to you during that moment? Tell us about it.
Diane and I were under appointment with what was then called DFM, Division of Foreign Missions, but AGWM. And we were in Europe in the spring of that year. And when the process developed, it all happened in about a month or so. And then we got a call one day, and I remember standing there at the phone in our house, and Ernie Moen, a dearly beloved friend of all of us, said, Gordon, we'd like to extend to you the invitation to serve as president of North Central. And
Wow.
I thought about a minute and said, okay. And it was just amazing. It was a sense, there was not a question mark about it. It was just a deep peace, a settledness, that it was the next assignment. I had no idea how long it would last. Certainly, that's 22 years ago.
Wow.
But it's just the will of God and the timing of God, which is always good and perfect.
Yeah. What's been some of your favorite memories from being president over the years?
Oh, man, there'd be so many. A chorale trip in our first year when with the chorale, Larry Bach, who is a year older than I am. But, we went off to a number of states. Kokomo, Indiana, I remember. Don Gifford, you're here. I think Don's here tonight, so I'm with Caitlin. A lot of fun with students on that bus. But I think really the memory that will last would be the chapel.
Yeah.
It would be a picture made up of thousands of pieces. I have probably been in 4,000.
Wow.
Lots of pieces that make one picture. I think, was it Larry who said on the video, the chapel is at the heart of the school. It's where it all comes together. There are a lot of pieces, the classroom, the residence halls, cafeteria, social life. But the chapel is where it is all integrated. Our faith, our relationships, and everything. Larry and I stood on the platform of the North Central Chapel 35 years ago, and I was a chapel coordinator, and he was the worship leader and director. And I remember standing there, and we talked about word, the preaching of the word, and worship. And that word and worship theme is now inscribed in stone above the entrance of that place. It all comes together. That's the memory. A collage of 4,000 pieces.
Wow. I was in a meeting with Bishop Jakes one time, and he said, if you're ever sitting with a phenomenal leader, always ask them, what does it cost to be you? What is it that you see in leadership? What does it cost you to be president? What's the thing for people in this room that they would say, I would aspire to be something great, a person of greatness? What would you say it's cost you to be president?
God uses people, and people are people with all of their weaknesses and all of their foibles and a few abilities they might have. I'll tell you what came to mind when you asked that question, and that is to get it right on a daily basis, because there will be mistakes. The humanity will come to the surface. But you've got to get it right on a daily basis, because if you let it build up, it starts to accumulate.
Wow.
It'll eat your mind. It'll eat your soul. It'll eat away your integrity. I guess that's what I would say. Jesus, I mean, I don't want to preach here
Go
tonight.
for it. Go for it.
But he said, you've got to die daily.
Wow.
And so maybe that's a thing. I have never thought of this before, but get it right every day. Clean up the mistakes you made. Confess, repent, get it washed. I have said in teaching homiletics, you're supposed to grow up and be like Jesus. But for young people, and I would say for my life, that's a long process. And I am an exhibit of progressive and vacillating sanctification. Sometimes it's better than others. But while you're being perfected into the image of Christ, you need to be authentic,
Yeah.
which means forgiven,
Yep.
and to get it right, get it under the blood.
Wow.
And though you're very much aware of your failures, at least you know they're forgiven. They're not hidden.
Wow. That's awesome. Over the years, did you ever want to quit? And what helps you get through those moments?
No, never wanted to quit.
Never wanted to quit.
No. I've just felt like I've been on assignment,
Yeah.
and that at some point I would get new orders. And that happened last year when it seemed that God was saying, okay, 35 years, that'll be enough,
Yeah.
and you can go on to other things. That's the way I have felt about the assignment at North Central. So quitting before that happened just wasn't part of the formula.
Yeah.
And I would say to any and all of us, and I always think of students, but to students, if you have quitting in your repertoire, you'll always be thinking about it.
Wow.
And you're not going to amount to much if you're always thinking about quitting. So there's no quitting.
Wow.
There's just no quitting. It's just not there until Jesus said,
It's
take
not-
off your uniform, hang it up, and do something different. So no, and it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
You know, so you have a bad day, you don't think about quitting.
Yeah.
You just think about murder. No, you know, no, that I didn't mean that.
Killing everybody. That's what we're going to do.
Like I said, sanctification is a vacillating process.
Wow. Well, something you've articulated well over the years is being both spiritually empowered and professionally competent. Can you explain what that really means to you?
Yeah, we were all gifted with natural gifts just by being human beings. But those gifts need to be cultivated. We're gifted by God. But those gifts, we need to be a steward of them. We need to pay attention
Yeah.
and cultivate the gifts that we are, not just depend on natural ability. You're a basketball player.
I am.
Oh, yeah, and you're a jumper. And we've had a lot of fun, you know, in the years. So.
Yeah.
But you have to work at it.
That's right.
If you depend on natural ability and never show up at practice, and you may have known some athletes that are like that, weren't they?
Right.
They depend on natural ability and they never get to where they should. So you have to cultivate and work diligently. And, but then it's not by might nor by power. So it's by the work of the Spirit. I characterize it as the both and. Both human ability.
Yeah.
We've got to work. But it's by the work of the Spirit. And so we need both of them. And that's why we have a school. That's why we have classes. That's why we have lectures and exams and all of those things, so that young people who are gifted and talented can also learn to be disciplined, be good stewards, and not just depend on their human ability. It's
Yeah.
both and.
What excites you the most about the future of North Central University?
That it's about young people, frankly. You can't be in education and not believe in the future.
Yeah.
You have to believe in the future. I think Clarence on the video said our best days are ahead. God has not called the last Timothy,
Wow.
right? That process is still happening. And being involved in education is kind of like being maybe an orchard grower. It takes years to grow the tree and the pruning and the development. But it's thinking truly about the future. This is a year of transition for me and Diana. I call it our eschatological year. It's a year of last things. But I'm thinking 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
Because what God is going to do, it's out there in the future. And I'm really we are so gratified by the development of the last number of years. But it's really not even about tomorrow or next year. I think what it'll be like in 5 years.
Wow.
What'll it be like in 10 years?
Mm.
And there's young people to step in there. Well, just like you, Ryan, for crying out loud. You were at North Central, and I got to know you. And, you know,
Yeah.
you're a wonderful guy, but your life has developed.
Yeah.
You've continued to grow and develop. That would, for all of you that are going to help be a partner with this school, that's what we're about,
Yeah.
helping young people build a future that's better than the one we've had,
Yep.
make life better 10 years from now.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Wow. Last question. Tell everybody what life for the Andersons is going to look like as a retiree.
We don't know in some ways. We're going to move to Washington State. Cam and Lindsay, our younger son and his wife, are sitting right here. They came in for the event. 1999, we bought a piece of property out there that was unbuildable and became buildable. We built a little house, and we're going to move there. Cam and Lindsay are there, and we're going to share life with them. And I'm going to raise calves. That is in the plan.
All right.
I'm going to grow grass and turn it into hide and beef, and that's in the plan.
Yeah.
We want to, in fact, I think it was in the magazine, I was asked that question. I said, we're going to see if we can be really good Christians when we're not getting paid to do it. But listen, part of the blessing of being in public ministry,
Yeah.
it puts pressure on you to do well when you might not do it if the pressure wasn't on. You know, it's been
Yeah.
a really good thing. So when the pressure's off, truly the impress of the Spirit of Christ and the working of the Spirit to be really good Christians on a local level. I have no plans and frankly no desire to be in public ministry anymore, to travel, to speak, although this is what we've done. We want to be really good Christians on a local level with people and be good church people, be good Christians, and live right so we'll make it to heaven because the journey's not over
The
yet.
journey's not over. That's awesome. Hey, would you guys give it up one last time for Dr. Gordon Anderson?